Hello, everyone. Happy Monday if you're watching this on time, or later in the week if you're not. But we appreciate you jumping on. New episode of Maximize Monday. As you can see, a new guest with me, Justin J. Coble, joining the show this week. A long time, I guess I could say I'm a long time customer of yours and known each other for some time. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but happy to have you join and appreciate you
Thank
taking
you.
the time to jump on here with me. So just going through what's motivating me for the week. As you all know, a lot of my stuff is focused on sports. So this Sunday coming up is first time that I am doing a dad-daughter trip to a Phillies game with my little one. We've taken her before. My wife has been there each time, so this is my first solo her and I trip to the Phillies game. We'll see how long we last there. Hopefully the weather holds out. I tried May this year. We took her in August last year, and we left by like the fourth inning because all of us were just raining sweat at that point. So hopefully May weather is a little bit more suitable for a toddler. And then the other thing motivating me, if you've followed me along, you know that movies are a big deal for me. So the new Fast and Furious films coming out, for whatever reason, man, that franchise just gets me. So even though it's probably not going to be a great movie, I'm still excited, still going through watching some of the old ones and looking forward to that. So looking forward to those two things coming up. Some goals I've set last week. I had a presentation in terms of with some of the members of the corporate team in terms of social media recruiting. So it's time for me to kind of practice what I preach here. So I'm going to try to diversify that a little bit more, get more creative in terms of how I'm recruiting through social media. And then just continue with follow-up with the candidates that we've had in the pipeline. I've set a few wins the past few weeks was bringing new people into the company. So just want to follow up with them, see how the position's going for them, get an idea of some feedback for them in terms of how we can continue to make a positive hiring experience for the candidates in these crazy times. And then a win from the week before was we have the internship program with the company. We started that back up this year. I had two internships that I was responsible for filling, got both of them set to go. So we're looking forward to bringing some exciting college students into the fold here to assist with some of our business units in the company. So that's the win for me. So switching it over to Jay, you and I have been connected for some time now. I asked you to be on. Just kind of one of the main things that I wanted to discuss with you is because I see a lot of people right now, the hiring market, the job market is insane. So a lot of them at this point are looking for what else can I do? How can I, take what I love and turn that into something? And you've absolutely done that throughout your life. It seems like you've taken your passion for sports and turned that into successful business ventures for you. So did you know that kind of, what launched that because a lot of it is within memorabilia. What initially got you into like this is something that I need to pursue?
So, yeah, first thing, I'm very blessed because I get to do sports memorabilia. I just work in the sports marketing realm. I mean, when you're in school, everybody wants to be the football player, baseball player. Then reality sets in when you graduate and you're not the athlete that your mind thinks you are.
Mhm.
But then, you go to work, and a lot of people work in jobs that they might enjoy it, or it's successful. They make good money, but do they really love it? So I get to work in sports, talk about sports, meet athletes. That's a great perk of the job, but it's still a job. You still got to show up and show out. But I fell into this completely different. I my college was in psychology. I actually during college and my early marriage was going into the social work and hospice, and then I came back from Louisiana and Maryland, where I'm from, and it was just shutting my doors. I didn't have my master's finished. I didn't have any of that, and so I went into sales, and that's pretty much where I was at. And football, coaching football, high school level, semi-pro level, and arena football is what I progressed. Enjoyed that. What really turned this switch on, I had a consulting firm. I had left a staffing background, but I call it sales. And we were selling the most imperfect commodity, people.
Mhm.
And but I was coaching arena football, bought the team, and I had a small consulting business where I was working with small and medium businesses on social media and marketing advertising plans and helping them, letting the small business owner be great at what they do, coming in and helping them with my expertise, giving some HR consulting. Um, Long and short, a memorabilia company stole some jerseys from me and Marcus Colson. He was my business partner.
Oh, wow.
I was livid. That same personality that I bring to my auctions, it's the same personality I had then. I tell people, and I know I'm not for everyone. I know that I don't rub everyone the same, but my personality is I'm very authentic. You're
Mhm.
not going to walk away saying he's fake. They might not like me, but at least they know what I think. And I'm never going to backstab somebody. I come at you. If I have a problem with you, you're going to know about it. It's going to be very direct. Um, and it just rubbed me, dude, that we turned in, I think, 10 jerseys. We got 8 back. And they're like, oh, no, you gave us 8. And Marcus and I looked at each other and we're like, and he's so quiet and passive and just was like, let's not make a big deal of it. But these were for sponsors like Dauphin County commissioners and stuff. So I remember just saying, I'm like, I'm going to put you out of business if it's the last thing I do. So I end up leaving, never with the intention to get into the business. But slowly thereafter, I met their competition here in Central PA, in Harrisburg, and ended up working with that owners to help them out and sort of double sorted. One, they were a client, but I could sort of help put out the other business by putting pressure on them. Needless to say, for multiple factors, not just because of me, but they did end up going out of business. Um, one of them went and reclassified, did a different company. But long and short, I decided to get into the business. I felt like there was a lot of framers and a lot of memorabilia guys. They're just sort of not real business people. And I still believe that. I believe in our business, the sports memorabilia, there's not a lot of business people. There's a lot of fans and collectors that start a business, a hobbyist that started a business. I wanted to have a professional approach. Doesn't mean you can't have fun. Doesn't mean you can't be a little wild like I get. But at the end of the day, we're still a legit company. We do everything on a professional level. We don't have the money of like a Fanatics, a TriStar, a Steiner Sports, but we can still run a nationally well-known, reputable company and build it, and with solid business practices, with solid marketing, and we did. And so that's where I am. And 9 years later, I had Primetime Sports for many years, and I named it after Deion Sanders, who was
Mhm.
my first football game going to see Buffalo Bills against the Atlanta Falcons, and he played for the Falcons at the time. So real recent, about 2 months ago, I was actually able to sell that company. And so I'm starting again in a
Mhm.
new business as Dazzle Sports Marketing.
So from the inception, was it kind of go hand in hand for you, the memorabilia side and the framing side, or did that come organically because so many people wanted the stuff that they were buying from you framed as it was?
Um, yeah, the framing is sort of what led it in, and the autographs, going to the shows and buying wholesale, selling retail.
Mhm.
I feel like you need to do that. In my experience, there are stores that do memorabilia. I think they do memorabilia and cards. Like I
Mhm.
don't think there's a store that really can stand alone on just memorabilia. They have to buy framing and sell framing. If they don't do the framing, they might a lot of businesses don't do the framing, but they still get framing and they sell frame goods. So it just made sense to me to sort of do the framing and sell the memorabilia. Um, at that time I was buying into signings, going to shows and stuff like that. You could make the one thing about the sports memorabilia market, which is so different than any other market, is you could have your marketing and your advertising, but what other industry, I really can't find one, do you rely on your competition as much as you do? When I say rely, there's not a signing that goes that one dealer does the signing,
Mhm.
including Fanatics.
Right.
Including Fanatics. Fanatics will do the signing and they got the money to front end and buy all the pieces, but they sell wholesale still to all these stores.
Right.
So, we did Jason Kelsey Wednesday. Well, there's 10 dealers buying into that,
Mhm.
buying for their stores and stuff like that. So, though we have to work together to get the product, we then go and compete selling the product. So
Right.
very different market, very different. So obviously, as I got more in the business, it transitioned from trying to buy into signings, where the person hosting the signing was making a little bit of money on me, to trying to host the signings and me sell wholesale out.
Okay. Gotcha. Gotcha. Now, people that are connected with you that follow along the auctions, you don't do a ton with cards. Is that Is that because you see how crazy that market is too, and it's just another venture you want to focus on one, or is there another reason that you just kind of on occasion have that stuff available?
Well, the card market's changed in the last 5, 10 years. I mean, it's come back hot and it's come back fierce. Um, I would say there's multiple reasons that haven't delved heavy into it. We're going to expand into it a little bit more with Dazzle Sports once we get open here. One, knowledge base. You have to have a real knowledge base of that.
Mhm.
And I'll be honest, I'm colorblind. So I always have trouble with parallels and colors and, is this ice, pink ice or blue? I struggle sometimes with those colors, but the knowledge base, and then I've just been so busy with what I had on my plate that adding another, what I would call another division. If your autographs is one, your framing is another division. This is just another revenue source. Cards, just not having the knowledge base and the time to really pursue it. We've dabbled very little into it. And like I said, I mean, in central Pennsylvania, there's a huge distributor in central PA
Mhm.
for nationally well known. And then just also, like I said, just knowledge. And I know cards, but not enough that I would feel comfortable. Like pricing. I mean,
Yeah.
the market's changing all the time, and it's a big business. It's a, if you're having trouble with autographs and keeping up with the framing, I didn't want to add another thing that I had to,
Right.
oversee.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So one of the things that initially when I was starting to look at memorabilia and how you and I connected was a lot of the pieces I've gotten from you, I feel are pretty unique. So has that always been something that you look to, like the "I'm sorry I bet on baseball" signature inscription from Pete Rose, the "Say No to Drugs" from Jose Canseco? Like, was
Yeah,
that something that you wanted to do and bring to your company to kind of stand out? And have you seen other
absolutely.
people do that since you started it?
So yeah, that's absolutely what I've always strived when I do the signings or I get my inventory. I want to do a unique piece that I haven't seen. There is your stock item. So example, when they do Jose Canseco, he signs all the time. People go, where's this stuff go? I mean, it's still selling,
Mhm.
but every dealer when they get the stock items, they get a Jose Canseco's jersey with 40/40 on it. Everybody gets a baseball Pete Rose on it. But let's get stuff. So I mean, the Jose Canseco. I remember when the first time, some people did Godfather of steroids. So
Mhm.
that's sort of played out. So I remember I said, hey man, write on there, say no to drugs. And when I was doing it, he had just had surgery. I don't know if you remember when he fought in West Virginia, a boxing
Oh,
match,
that's right. Okay.
and then he had torn like something like his rotator cuff or something. And I mean, I was like 2 weeks after that, I was in Maryland, and
Mhm.
he was taking some pain pills. So he
Okay.
was. I'll be honest. I mean, he probably doesn't. I probably this will help your podcast, but he is high as a kite, and he's writing "Say No to Drugs,"
Uh,
And so we were dying laughing, and everything. But I mean, I had him do those because I just thought it was unique. It's different.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, I've always tried to. I mean, yes, Wednesday we did Kelsey, we did Batman mask,
I saw that.
and
Yeah.
it says Fat Batman. You
Yeah.
know,
Fantastic.
um, so just trying to do unique. Yeah, you have to carry your stock items. Some people. I'm a purist, a big time. Like I take a lot of pride in that. I'm not super old, but I know that the big helmet craze is how custom can you make it? But
Mhm.
like I don't like a Terry Bradshaw on a chrome or a salute to Sir. He didn't wear that.
Right.
Nobody wears those.
Right.
I'm a big on like get him on the TK helmet like what he wore,
Mhm.
you know. Um, so I like that. I like the inscriptions, but I like unique pieces. But we still have to do our stock. But
Right.
yeah, I think unique is a good way to put it.
Okay. All right. Now you've worked exclusively with some people too. So the one question I've always had for you that never really asked, like, was there a time when you went to a signing that you kind of got starstruck because of the importance? Like I know you met Dion, did that live up to the hype, or was there ever any athlete that you were like either super pumped to meet or after you met them, they like elevated in your standing in terms of all time?
Um, So yeah, you do have those. I mean, some of them are good, some are not bad. Good question though. It's definitely some good answers here I can give you. So Dion, I would say at the beginning I was very like, oh man, I can't wait to go this weekend to the show and meet these players. I'm really not there no more.
Okay.
Um, there are some dealers that are still like that. There's one in particular that just drives me nuts because, it's like I'm not a big fan. I'm not a big fan of how he started his business. He's unethical way he went after and took customers, but he loves to meet the players. I'm okay. I like to meet real people like you. You're a
Mhm.
family man. You're doing things. Trying to make your mark, but raise your kids, and like I enjoy that. Those are the athletes have been coddled already,
Mhm.
especially now,
Right.
and so I'd say there's more like a letdown when you meet I mean, there are great guys, don't get me wrong. Dion's a good guy, but Dion is like what you see right now on the coach sideline, the hype man. That's sometimes how he is.
Okay.
Not always, but but I've had Dion being prime of sports. I've had him look and be like, "Oh man, you owe me money," using my name now. To other
Right.
times where he's been super cool. I've had times where he's left-handed. He signed through my helmet, and he smudged a helmet, an autograph, and looked at me and was like, "I don't care." I
Yeah.
mean, so he would be a letdown.
Okay.
He's not the easiest personality. I still sort of root for him, and I like what he's doing over in Colorado. I think he's good for football. He's good for Colorado
Yeah.
and all that. I don't have no hard feelings, but he don't give a rat's ass about me. Um, the big one for me, being a Bills fan, is Jim Kelly. Got to meet Jim,
Okay.
after his wild days and after Hunter had passed away, and he was in his battle with cancer. And I've had a great relationship with Jim. He calls me Big Just. He's he's elevated because my mom was in a battle for cancer, her breast cancer, and he called my mom
Oh, wow.
and FaceTimed and prayed for her, and so that was just a really good experience. And then I was able to take my mom to GTSM show New Jersey when I was doing that show, and she got to meet Jim and she got to meet her idol Drew Brees.
Okay.
And
Nice.
Jim took pictures with my mom and hugged on her, and he remembered her, remembered talking to her on the phone 2 years before, and he signed a lot of cancer stuff for me, and um, so he's always been a class act and
Okay.
always been easy to work with. Um, one of the people I would say that I went from liking to just really elevated was Eddie George at the National when the year Andre Reed went into the Hall of Fame. Jim was there as his first show after his cancer treatment, very weak,
Mhm.
very weak, bald, and he was doing the induction for Andre. And uh, Eddie, we were like, normally they walk around to all the dealers in the back and they sign your stuff. They sat Jim down. They said, everybody bring your stuff. Didn't matter if you're bringing 3 things or 50 things. You had to walk it to him. He was just too weak.
Right.
And I was standing there and I was a couple people back waiting. And Eddie came over and he gave him a hug and he sat down and dealt with him. And just tears coming down Eddie George's face. I'm praying for you. I'm rooting for you. I love you, man. The camaraderie. And he prayed for him.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, that was like I felt like I was, you gotta look away, like you're intruding on a private moment.
Right.
But they played against each other, warriors on a gridiron, but you saw the human side of it. And always had a respect for Eddie after that.
Yeah.
And he's just a good guy. He's a good guy all around, great athlete. But yeah, so I mean, you have those experiences. You have the guys, that have been great. There's I wish the younger generation, the younger players understood, they make so much money on their player contract and on their autographs. Like now, they just, they put their headphones on, put their head down. They don't want another day. Like, you
Yeah.
know, they don't understand branding. They don't understand, building their brand and, you got an opportunity when you meet somebody to make that first impression. And then you got an opportunity to change that first impression for the good or the bad.
Yeah.
And, the person walks away and like, you can't change that first experience. Like it's either you like them or you don't, or you think they're great or you don't. And these younger guys just, and there's big difference.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. So you're not just a dealer, you also collect, I know as well. So the question is kind of twofold. What would you say is the most requested like grail item that people send to you? And what's that one item you have in your own collection that you're like, I'm not parting ways with this. It's going to be in my will. Someone will get this when I pass on.
I got a few I got a few Jim Kelly pieces that are pretty special to me and some
Mhm.
custom painted stuff. And I don't collect heavy, a lot
Okay.
of other things. Now I collect more of their like I want like a personal item. They can personalize it. Most of the time, I don't like recommend people personalize for
Right.
signings, but I have those. I would say like there's some big sellers still out there. I mean, everybody always jokes about Pete Rose. I love Pete.
Hmm.
Um, Class act. I think that he's a sports guy through and through. You sit down with him, it's like just take your Bush League softball player. Like he's a baseball player.
Yeah.
He's not a business guy. He's not all this other stuff. I mean, he's done a lot of other things, made a lot of money, but I believe he belongs in the Hall of Fame.
Hmm.
But he sells still well, believe it or not. Probably signed more autographs than any person ever alive.
Yeah.
But I mean, we get a lot of requests, and it goes with the season.
Okay.
Football season in, and baseball. What's people are requesting.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. So then last question I have for you, and this kind of ties into the overall root of the podcast in terms of, people looking to expand, people looking to try new things. And since you've built businesses now, small businesses up to, a nationally service to organization, what advice would you give to people that are at that point now where they're like, I feel like I'm ready to start my own business? What's the one thing you would say to them when they're getting into it, getting ready?
I've used this on multiple interviews and for years. Jump, jump into, take the chance, take the chance, bet on yourself, um, and believe in yourself. The big thing with people is they get into what's safe, and they go, this is, we've been trained from being young children. You grow up, you go to school, go to college, you get married, you have your kids, and you work at the same place for so many years.
Mhm.
And that's the American dream. And but that's been changed so much. There's corporate There's nothing wrong with getting that great job and loving what you do. But like if you have a passion, take the chance, go start a business. Is it hard work? Yeah. Is there a lot of things that people don't see, but it's not as hard to get up in the morning when you love what you're doing and when you believe in it. And if you truly have a business plan, you have a plan and you can execute and you believe in yourself, I mean, don't quit your job and just go start something if you don't have a plan.
Mhm.
But I believe in everybody. um, I believe in working for yourself. I believe in starting your own business or partnering with somebody. It's the way. I mean, I look at, even in the shopping center right now that I'm in, so many small businesses, and these people believed in themselves and they did it. The flexibility, the pride you could take, that you could do. And you know what? If it's not for you and you work for a company because you like the benefits or whatever it may be, that God bless you. That's no problem. Support small businesses. Small businesses, what makes the world go.
Mhm.
The older I get, the more I get. I want to be all about the small business, supporting other people that are out there endeavors, because you're helping put money to feed a family, help them go on vacation, bless their kids and all that when you buy from a small business, whatever it may be,
Mhm.
versus going to a call, nothing. I'm not an anti Walmart guy, but you go to Walmart for that quick fix and grab everything. And that's going into, you're lining pockets of families that don't really care about you. Let's
Mhm.
just be honest. Yeah, they employ a lot of people, but build a relationship. I did that with my grandfather always talked about building relationships. And I just think that people go chase your dream. Like, you don't want to be the in the big thing of it all, big picture. We live a very short life.
Mhm.
Don't be 70 years old wishing you had tried and not.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Jay, appreciate the time.
Yeah,
The
man.
company is Dazzle Sports. Make sure you're following along social media,
Yeah,
following
man.
along those auctions. When are you running those? Go ahead and plug what you got
We
going on.
so we're going to be starting a podcast. We do auctions. We do normally 2 or 3 a week. Dazzle-sports.com is our website. We're Dazzle Sports Marketing. We're in Lemoyne, PA. So we're doing we're doing great. We're looking forward. We're going to be doing some different things, but give us a follow. But man, thanks for having me on, and share this onto my page so I can share it out to people and help. Like you, I think it was motivation. What was it?
Maximize Monday. Yeah. You got-
Maximize Monday. So yeah, man, maximize that. And I love what you're doing, man. Keep up the great work.
Absolutely appreciate it. Hope everyone that's watching, listening, you have a great week. We'll talk to you next Monday.